Alrighty, so I'm in the middle of sorting another box for the day, and I come across Nightscape Master. It was a good card draft. I don't think it ever saw any constructed play, which is alright. I mean, not every card needs to be for constructed, or it's not competitive constructed, you know what I mean? But, let's see if I can't find camera angle that lets you see the cards better. So wise man once said it'll do. But yeah, I mean, Nightscape Master was a good little card, at least in draft. I mean, 2 colorless, double black for a 2/2, 2 red and tap, 2 damage to a target creature, or 2 blue and tap and bounce a target creature to owner's hand. I mean, that's pretty strong overall, especially in draft. Ooh, things like that were brutal back in Invasion draft. But it's one of those things I was thinking about the other day, especially an idea that came to me with the plane shift legendary dragons. Now a lot of people are familiar, some people are familiar anyway, with the old Invasion dragons. Darigaz the Igniter and Crossus the Purger, Trevor the Renewer, Dromar the Banisher, and Rith the Awakener. But not as many people are, maybe people are more familiar now with the likes of Intet the Dreamer and Newmont the Devastator, and because they're more recent. But there was a good multicolor theme going on back at Invasion. I mean, it was the first real multicolor theme block, and it was a great block. Honestly, I think Invasion and Apocalypse were both incredibly good. I think Plane Shift was the weak leg of the block, but there were still good cards in it. But I was thinking, it would be really nice to see some of the themes that they touched, themes and cycles that they touched on back then, printed again with, base color and its 2 enemies. Like, for example, the old layer lands. The old layer lands were all named after the various legendary dragons in Invasion block. And what they did was they came into play. When they came into play, you returned a non-layer land to your hand, and it tapped for any 1 mana of the 3 that were associated with the appropriate legendary dragon from Invasion block. So I'm sitting here thinking, it would be really cool to see layer lands for the legendary dragons from Time Spiral block. Specifically the 5 legendary dragons for Planar Chaos. I think there's Darigaz the Igniter and Crossus the Purger. Oh, and Dromar the Banisher. And Trevor the Renewer. I think I have, I know I have at least 1 Rith, because I know I've got 1 sitting in my landless deck. But with no power 9 in it. No power 9 at all. And only recently did I get a Mox into it, the Chrome Mox, actually. But anyway, I think it would be really awesome to see, the various, all the various battle mages and masters and apprentices reprinted, well, see the cycle revisited with these color pairs on an enemy color creature. So, for example, you'd have a white creature with a black and a white tap activated ability. With a white creature creature with black and red, yeah. You know, because I think it would be really nifty. It really would. I like the idea a lot. If someone from Wizards of the Coast R&D is listening to this, take this idea and run with it. Please. It would not be the first time I've seen an idea I had end up on Magic cards. I mean, I remember one time many moons ago, I was trying to cook up a custom set, and I actually invented Double Strike independently. I call it let's see, I'm trying to remember what the heck I called it. But at any rate, yeah, I came up with it, and strangely enough, when I came up with it, it was I put it on a green instant because I was trying to come up with a non-broken replacement for Berserk, and I'm like, you know, instead of doubling the creature's power, why not just let it hit twice? And we've already got 2 damage dealing steps, right? Am I right? Of course I'm right. But, yeah, I've seen crazy stuff like that happen. I mean, I don't know, I guess in some ways I do actually think a bit like a game designer, though. I've never gotten into the field. I've tried designing my own game once. Way back in the day, I tried to design a classless version of Dungeons and Dragons, and never got as far with it as I really wanted to. But it was an interesting idea. Basically, you'd be buying your hit dice and improved ability to attack, etc., with XP. And there are other game systems that do similar things. You just take your classless systems that do it. You just, you know, take your XP and you use a formula to determine, you know, how much is required to buy up a certain skill or ability, score, etc., etc. But that's okay. I digress. This is Magic the Gathering, and I'm talking D&D. Oh, Sunscape Master. Never got enough of them when I was drafting Invasion. And by which I mean, yeah, I own plenty. That's not what I meant. What I mean is, I used to use them. I used to draft them in Banalish Emissary. Banalish Emissary was like 2 colors and a white, or I want to say it was like a 1/3 or a 1/4 creature, with a kicker of a colorless and a green. And if you paid the kicker, you got to destroy target land when it came into play. And I'd use, you know, the various masters or apprentices, whatever I could get my greedy little fingers on, to bounce the emissary either to the top of my deck or to my hand. Because, well, it's really fun to have reusable land destruction in a draft. In a limited format, if you can stumble your way into any kind of a reusable removal, whether it be lands or creatures, you've got a good chance of winning. So what happened is, once I got this thing going, I'd had people scoop for me because they're like, yeah, we've got a deadlocked board position, he's blowing up a land every turn. Yeah, he's bouncing his guy to the top of his deck. Once he blows up all of my land, he's going to start drawing fresh cards, and I'm still going to be screwed. And so people would sit there and scoop to it, which is awesome. I mean, I don't like it when people give up, but yeah, I mean, sometimes it does save time. Oh well. I've got all these sorted, just got to file them away into their various boxes and piles that I've got sitting around, and that's today's update, folks. Catch you tomorrow.